Upgrading or migrating your Oracle or SAP software can waste valuable resources needed for innovation and growth. Instead, use Rimini Street support to extend the life of your current stable software for 5, 10, or more years. Join over 3,000 organizations who've already made the switch to Rimini Street, saving billions of US dollars. Other companies do software. We do support. Learn more at RiminiStreet.com.
What is up? It is another episode of the Hoof Podcast, coming at you on this beautiful Friday morning. I am your host, Sterling. Sterls for the girls in the house today, and you are going to be kicking it with me here on the Hoof Podcast on the Cover One Network. Got a jam-packed show. Gonna talk about some the draft narrative. What is our thought process coming into the NFL draft? We'll be talking about that and some draft history, Brandon Beane, and so forth. So I need you guys. We're gonna get locked in here because we're already loaded, man. It's just me. It's me and you in your car, wherever you're listening. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow the Hoof Podcast, leave a review. Let us know how we are doing. But without further ado, let's get into this. Buffalo Bills this week. Yesterday, white face mask. Can you freaking believe it? Let's go. This has been something that Bills Mafia, we've been clamoring for quite some time, ever since that Dallas Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. We've been wanting white face masks, and guess what? Guess freaking what? We got it. Now, I'll be honest. It's April Fool's. I'm at work, and I see this notification talk about an alteration in the Bills uniform, about tradition or whatever. So I go look and the video. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And they're talking about Isaiah McKenzie's like talking about this gray face mask. And I'm like, man, this is probably some cheeseball shit that the Bills would do. So they had me going. They had me going. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, why? Why are you going to give us this great face mask? Y'all don't listen to us? Like, you guys don't hear what we have to say? Because that great face mask ain't it. And we have the best uniforms in the league. Bills have the best uniforms in the league. But you're going to throw the gray face mask out there another season? Come on now. And then a little bit later. Oh, and in that video, mind you, you got Mongo Feliciano saying he's happy to be here for another 3 years. That's cap. That's cap because it ain't happening. I think this is probably Mongo's last year. It's cap. Not happening. But, and then they dropped this video, another video. I'm like, okay, here we go. And now you got this kid on the playground there like, we don't touch the helmets with the gray face mask. And I was like, hells to the yeah. Bills media knocking it out the park once again. Hey, let's give it up, man. Bills social media department, A+. A freaking plus. Knocking it out the park again. They've been killing it, man. They've been putting in some hours. Diana Rossini even took notice on ESPN, on Twitter, talking about how, hey, Buffalo Bills media's killing it, man. They come out with that video and we're just like, okay, now it's go time. So we get our white face mask like we've been asking for. Now, I don't know if they're going to make any adjustments to the, the uniform or the other alterations to the helmet or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe that was the deadline or the time to do it. But hey, man, if you can give us white face mask, I'm totally down with that. Totally down with that. So the reason why I have you guys here today. And if you're listening to us today, maybe this is your first time, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. But if you're listening today, I just want to challenge you to maybe change the way you think, or maybe go into this draft season, or because the draft is only a few weeks away, maybe go in with an idea that, you know what, I'm going to trust my GM and head coach to make the right decision. That we haven't had to be in this position that we're in. We're in a position of abundance. We're in a position of power. We are in a position to be flexible when it comes to our draft picks. Now, around Bill's community, content creators alike, there's some polarizing differences in who the Bills should take at pick 30. You have your team trade up, team trade down. And then you want to go into positional breakdown. You have your team, I don't want a running back round 1. I want a offensive lineman to show up the trenches. I want a pass rusher. I mean, there is a different angle for every position. I mean, you guys have, like I said, if you've been following the show, we did a making the case for every position. I mean, that's where the Bills are at. You can make a case for every position. But there's some of us who are married to certain positions based on what you may value as positional value or need. And there's some maybe that I like. I am let's go running back round 1. And Travis Etienne is the guy I would want in round 1. But that's just me. That's just me. And I'm sure, those of you who follow the draft like we do, you may be on a different train, and you may think that taking a running back in round 1 based off of history is not a good idea. That's okay. There's room here on this train for you and for me, okay? So my plea to you today, and that's why I named the show title, Release Your Preconceived Ideas About the Draft. You know how they say, like, release the Kraken? You're going to have to release your preconceived notions and ideas about what the Bills can or what the Bills will not do come late April. This is a 13-3 football team. I was on with Jay Spence the King earlier this week, and we're just talking about how these Buffalo Bills, I mean, there's not many needs. There's not many needs on this team. This is a damn good football team. I think as Bills fans, we got a little bit of PTSD. We don't know what to do in this position. Hey, and I get it. I get it. We've been through hell and back from a roster standpoint. Getting guys that we love, seeing them go. Sammy Watkins. Just, he's one of them. Okay, don't tell me you didn't love Sammy Watkins. You may have hated the value of what they gave up, but you liked Sammy Watkins, a player, when he was healthy, right? But seeing guys go. AFC Championship. We lost, but we were in the game. 1 win away from a Super Bowl. We saw the Bills take not 1, but 2 playoff games and win them at home. Think about that. 2 playoff games at home, won them both. I mean, we are embarking on being spoiled at this point, guys. This is the best offense we've had in 20 years. Best offense we've had. Bills have a young budding star, Josh Allen. Probably going to be on the Madden cover this year. Not that matters, but hey, how cool is it to see a Bills player on the cover of Madden? I mean, sign me up, bro. We ain't never seen that. Not saying I have any inside sources. Not saying it's going to happen, but if they're smart, You've already had Mahomes. You've had Lamar Jackson. You might as well put Josh Allen on there. These Bills have a championship window. Now, what I mean by championship window, you have Josh Allen still on his rookie contract. You have a roster that is pretty good. It's damn near complete. Damn near complete roster. So your championship window to take a swing for the fence is now. Now, I'm not saying a rookie is going to come in and just move the needle to be a Super Bowl winning team, Super Bowl caliber winning team. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there are things that you can do to maybe help you move the needle, to maybe help alleviate the pressure on the foundation of your team, which is Josh Allen. There are things that you can do to help him out. There are things you could do on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe, help Tremaine Edmonds, Ed Oliver. Go get a cornerback. I mean, there are things that you can do. So, as much as I would love running back in round one, I just want an impact player, wherever that is in round one. I want somebody who's going to come in and make a difference. So, let's talk about what the Bills have done to complete this roster. They went out on the O-line. They signed Feliciano. They signed Darrell Williams. They signed Bobby Hart. Now, Hart is just a depth swing guy. We don't even know he's going to make the roster. But Mongo got him on a cheap 1-year deal. Darrell Williams got him on a 3-year deal. That's a great move. Great move. Both of those moves are great. And Hart he had his best year, but that's not saying much. I mean, that guy gives up so many pressures left and right, but still, for a swing guy, I'll take it. Were there better options? Yeah, I think there's probably better options, but you're not paying this guy anything. And you hope to God that he doesn't play. Is he an upgrade over Ty Nsekhe? Yeah, I'd say so. He's probably an upgrade over Ty Nsekhe. Or they at least break even. I mean, I don't think there's, many differences between the two players in terms of their upside. They're pretty limited football players. At running back, the Bills went and got Tywan Jones, Matt Breida. Do not come in here talking about some Matt Breida's running back one. Please stop it now. Does Matt Breida have something that the other two running backs don't? Yeah, he's got speed. He's got ability to catch the ball in the backfield. But is he running back one? No. If he was running back one, why didn't they pay him more money if he was running back one? I'm not here to knock Matt Breida, but to come in here and say he's running back one, no, I don't think so. And does getting Matt Breida stop you from drafting Travis Etienne round one? No, not necessarily. Nope. So the whole idea that, they got Breida, so no, they can't draft a running back in any round. That's not a good take. It's opinionated, and I appreciate you, but it's not a good take. Wide receiver, Emmanuel Sanders. Clap it up for my guy, Emmanuel Sanders. 33, 34-year-old wide receiver. He's going to be here for a year. Got him on a 1-year deal. They felt like he's an upgrade over John Brown. He does some things better than John Brown. He's probably going to stay healthier than John Brown. They bring back Isaiah McKenzie. He's back on the roster. So, and I was, talking to Bruce Nolan. And maybe there's a role for Isaiah McKenzie on this roster that's more than just gadget plays. I mean, it's a guy that had 7 touchdowns last year. So Josh Allen seemed to start to like him in the pass game. Let's see if his role expands. They got a kick returner in Powell. Okay, great. Does it stop them from drafting a wide receiver? No, I don't think so. Linebacker, they got Matt Milano back, which was a surprise to many. There's not many people out there who thought, okay, yep, we're getting Milano back. It wasn't many of us that thought that, and that's you. Kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. So they get a couple depth signings. Okay, they got Adams and Lee, right? Two guys that have a little bit they have athletic upside, and they give you depth. That's great. Maybe one of them can challenge AJ Klein for a spot. Maybe not. But I think linebacker depth was a need that the Bills had. Even last year during the season, we didn't have much depth at linebacker. Backup quarterback, they went and got Mitchell Trubisky on a 1-year deal. A cheap 1-year deal. Veteran minimum type deal. Okay? I mean, these are moves, man. You look at edge. F.A. Obata, defensive end. 5.5 sacks last year. That would have led the Bills. From Carolina. Jacob Hollister at tight end. Hey, okay. Guy has some athletic upside. Has a rapport with Josh Allen already. Sweet. So I say all that to say is Brandon Beane has positioned himself. He's positioned himself to fill the needs prior to the draft. I think that's what smart GMs do. Smart GMs use free agency to fill needs and draft for best player available. Now, Brandon Beane is a wizard. So let's talk about Brandon Beane just a little bit. So who is Brandon Beane and where does he come from? I mean, I know we know, like, okay, yeah, he was in Carolina, but a little bit of background. I mean, I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure his mom had some financial background in you know, I want to say banks or accounting or something like that. And maybe some of her ways rubbed off on Brandon Beane why he's so shrewd and so smart with the cap and was so smart with money. Brandon Beane worked his way up as an intern, turned GM. So, Brandon Beane understands the cap. And he understands scouting. Okay? This is a GM that can do both. Okay? He knew the cap first. Okay, because he went to the Carolina Panthers as an intern. And then when Dave Gettleman came around, I'm pretty sure Dave Gettleman came around in like 2013. 2013 to 2017 is when Dave Gettleman was at the Carolina Panthers. And when Dave Gettleman got with the Carolina Panthers, that's when Brandon Beane's knowledge of scouting went through the roof. Okay, here's a quote that upon Brandon Beane's hiring, this is what Dave Gettleman said about him. He says, I spent a lot of time with him watching film and teaching and doing those kinds of things. And Brandon's a sponge. He really listens. He's very diligent. He works at it. Gettleman said during a phone interview, says, the only way you're going to improve your evaluation skills is just grind tape. It's his willingness to listen and learn that really accelerated his progress in terms of becoming a general manager. There you have it. Now, we may not agree, with all the moves Dave Gettleman makes and so forth, but what he did help mold and shape and mentor Brandon Beane. Marty Herney is another guy in there as well. He made Brandon Beane director of football operations in 2008. Okay. Brandon Beane was promoted to assistant GM in 2015. And even in 2015, his name started popping up in NFL circles about him becoming the next GM. He even interviewed for the San Francisco 49ers GM job, but they gave it to John Lynch. Now, as Bills fans, we've suffered through some bad GMs. Okay? I ain't going to name drop or whatever, but I would dare to say Brandon Beane is the best GM we've had since Marv Levy. Hands down. Well, not Marv Levy. Bill Polian, I'm sorry. Bill Polian. Marv Levy was a Hall of Fame coach, but Bill Polian. And here's a little real quick little thing here. Brandon Beane was also the guy that found Mario Addison from Washington, picked him off the practice squad. Mario Addison's in Buffalo Bill. Interesting, huh? So Brandon Beane's that guy. Brandon Beane is a smart GM. He's a really, really good GM, and we should be happy to have him. Bills locked him up. They knew him and McDermott. They came together as a package deal pretty much, or their contracts would expire at the same time, and the Bills and the Pagulas re-upped them. Now, say what you want about the Pagulas, how they deal with the Sabres and so forth, but they've done really well by the Bills, and I think a lot of the credit goes to Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane. So what I want to do, let's talk about. So we mentioned that in this draft process, as a smart GMs, they draft for best player available, right? You do free agency for need. You fill as many needs as you can, and then you go into best player available. The Bills, we have not been in this position in a long time where we can say, well, this is actually the first year that the Bills will be able to draft for best player available round one and so forth. This will be the first year. How crazy is that? Again, 13-3 football team. These same Buffalo Bills playing the AFC Championship game. What's the weakest position you think on this Buffalo Bills roster right now? What's the weakest room? Yeah, I'd probably say running back. Running back is probably the weakest position on this roster right now. That's awesome. That running back is the weakest position. I mean, you got two RB2s back there in Singletary and Moss. They're not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So let's talk about, now what I'm going to say here. I'm not saying Brandon Beane made these picks. But what I want you to understand, he was working with Dave Gettleman, lockstep. Right? That's his dude. Like, Brandon Beane was his right-hand man. So you mean to tell me that Brandon Beane maybe didn't influence some of these decisions? I mean, I would say Dave Gettleman ultimately got the final say. But Brandon Beane's influence is his prints are all over this. Check this out. In 2014, the Carolina Panthers, they finished the year 7-8. All right. They took Kelvin Benjamin at pick 28, wide receiver, Florida State. Coney Elam at pick 60. And Trey Turner at 92. The offensive lineman still balling out today. Kelvin Benjamin ate himself out of the league, and Coney Elam bounced around. But those aren't bad picks. Carolina Panthers with 7-8. In 2015, we know those same Carolina Panthers went 15-1, played in the Super Bowl. Cam Newton won the MVP. Look at this draft class. These are just the top three. Now, they took Shaq Thompson at 25 overall. Went and got Devin Funchess, tight end wide receiver from Michigan. And they got Darrell Williams in the third round. Darrell Williams, Buffalo Bill. Now, that Shaq Thompson thing is pretty interesting because they had Thomas Davis. They had Luke Kuechly in their prime, balling out. And they went out and they got Shaq Thompson. So you look at the Bills. They got Matt Milano. They got Tremaine Edmonds. But what? Same defense, same style of defense. Sean McDermott was defensive coordinator. Sean McDermott's the head coach here. Am I saying they're going to draft a linebacker? I don't know, but it's possible. It's possible. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I'll take him. Zaven Collins, pick 30. Okay. Those are guys to look at. Now, they took a dip in 2016. Okay, they took a little bit of a dip. They went 6-10. Cam Newton had a horrible year after his MVP season, riddled by injuries. But what happened? They went out and they got Vernon Butler. They got James Bradbury. And they didn't have any weapons on offense was a problem as well. So you had Kelvin Benjamin flamed out. You had their running backs on their last leg. I mean, they were just aging. Offensive line was just struggling. Okay? They didn't have any weapons for Cam Newton. They had Greg Olsen, but that was it. That was it. And Funchess, he was hit or miss. You didn't know what you're going to get. I mean, he had flashes where he looked good, and then others he didn't. But Cam Newton stunk that year. And then 2017 comes around. So, 2017 draft, the Carolina Panthers are sitting at pick number 8. Okay? They're sitting at pick number 8. Now, there's a little story. Okay? So, that draft, they could have had Jamal Adams. These are players on their board. Jamal Adams, O.J. Howard, Christian McCaffrey. Pick number 8. O.J. Howard is a damn good tight end. Riddled by injuries. Jamal Adams, we just saw him traded for 2 first-round picks. From the Jets to the Seahawks. Christian McCaffrey. Now, am I telling you the Bills are going to take a running back? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you this is what happened. So they had those 3 guys. Okay? These were the 3 guys that were on the clock when the Panthers were picking at number 8. Okay? And it's believed that Dave Gettleman pulled once the 6th pick came, he took those 3 guys. So it's Gettleman, offensive coordinator Ron Rivera. They were like, look, what are we going to do? Brandon Beane. He's like, what are we going to do, guys? And so they all kind of gave their spiel. Okay? This is what they said Brandon Beane said about Christian McCaffrey. Said he's a great player. Has Kuechly's DNA. Great fit. Touchdown waiting to happen. That's Brandon Beane's endorsement of Christian McCaffrey. Interesting, huh? What do? Pick comes up. Pick 8 comes up. Guess who they take? Christian McCaffrey. What was their biggest need at the time? Running back. Who else did they take in that draft? Curtis Samuel. So they took Christian McCaffrey at 8. Curtis Samuel in the 2nd round and Taylor Moton, guard, in the 3rd round. I think they like guards in the 3rd round. I think is that where they find their value for interior offensive linemen in the 3rd round? Or not even just interior. I mean, linemen in general. Is that a sweet spot? Do you think that's a sweet spot for Brandon Beane based off of how he was mentored and how he was raised as a GM? We know Brandon Beane's a gambler. Okay? And in that 2017 draft, they went 11-5. Brandon Beane got hired by the Buffalo Bills soon after. Brandon Beane likes his guys that just score touchdowns. I'm just saying. Don't be surprised. Travis Etienne's at 30. You hear the music. Dun 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 dun. With the 30th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Travis Etienne. Hey, your head better not explode. I'm just telling you right now. It's a possibility. I'm just telling you right now. But I tell you that to say all this is that, man, I know that a premium position is cornerback. I know. You ain't got to tell me. I know that the Buffalo Bills could use help on the offensive line. I also know they could use help at linebacker. I mean, big nickel. We still don't have a big nickel. We still do not have a big nickel. But as much as I sit here and I rack my brain trying to figure out what in the heck are the Bills going to do, what are they even thinking? What are they even thinking? I have no clue. Because guess what? We don't have any glaring holes or needs. Here's something else that I was thinking about. So you remember when the Bills drafted Ed Oliver, 9th overall a few years ago. Pre-draft, you saw a video of him in a stadium. I can't remember where it was. But they were asking Ed about, not necessarily where he want to go, but who he talked to and so forth. And the Bills came up. And Ed Oliver was like, yo, I love what they're doing up there. I'm hyped. Like, I would love to go to Buffalo, yada, 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 yada. Glowing about the Bills. Had multiple meetings with the Bills. Guess what? That was a need that year. Defensive tackle was a need. Bills went out and they got him. Fast forward to this year. There's a player. Same thing. Guess who he is? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I'm not telling you they're going to pick him, but all I'm telling you is this. Don't be surprised if he makes it to 30 and they call his name. Now, yes, Sterling, the Bills meet with everybody. They meet with as many people as they can based off of their number of visits and so forth. And, you know, they're not going to tip their hand and do this or that. That may be the case. That may be the case. But all I'm saying is the thoughts and ideas that we come in as you know, armchair GMs, and because it's fun. It's fun trying to guess and doing mock drafts and trying to figure all this mess out. It's so much fun. And I tell you, keep doing it. But don't get mad. Don't get mad. There has to be a level. I trust Brandon Beane. I don't always agree with everything they do. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have re-signed Feliciano. I wouldn't have done that. I don't always agree with what they do, but what I do know is they have the best interest of the team, and they've done a damn good job thus far for what they were. I mean, let's talk about it. Brandon Beane, he comes in here and he's like, yo, Sammy, you got to go. Ronald Darby, you got to go. Like, he starts making moves, man. Like, you talk about culture busting. They came in here and got rid of that toxic culture that was here before in the previous regime. And they was like, you know, we're going to get our guys in here. Now, I know people get so frustrated with the Carolina pipeline, and that thing still is going on to this day. However, hey, I'll take it. I mean, we've got some good players from Carolina. Just talk Luke Kuechly out of retirement, please. That'd be awesome. I don't think that's happening. Pick 30. What are the Bills gonna do? What would you like out there? You want a cornerback? Do you want the Bills to go with hey, Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley is a guy that is falling down draft boards right now due to injury history. Would you take Caleb Farley at 30? Or do you want an edge rusher? You want to take Jason Owe or Azeez Ojulari at 30? Okay. I ain't going to be mad at you. Do you want to go get a cornerback in Eric Stokes at 30? Okay. I'd be cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. But just leave some room to leave your mind open to what the Bills can do. Just leave it open. The ideas and the narratives of how does it feel when every Bills fan has a player that the Bills have probably picked and you go, ugh, I ain't vibing. For me, that was AJ Epinesa last year. Still don't like the pick. I felt like the Bills should have went and got Christian Fulton. They should have got a corner round 2. That's just me. But yeah, AJ Epinesa was that pick for me. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. Now that he's a Buffalo Bill, okay, great. Like, I'm gonna pull for you. I want to see you succeed. But it wasn't my bet. It wasn't my favorite choice. So, come late April, when you see Roger Goodell at the podium, take a deep breath and think of positive things, good vibes. You could throw the Josh Allen pick in there too. I'll go on record to say I wanted Josh Rosen. I was like, y'all got the wrong Josh, and I was wrong. See, I was wrong. I can admit it. My guy Eric that's who he wanted first day pre-draft. Even before the season, y'all give that man some credit. Even before the season, my guy Eric Brown wanted Josh Allen. But yeah, Josh Allen's name was called, and I almost started crying. I'm a grown-ass man. I almost started crying, bro. Now, those tears today are tears of joy, but I was wrong. What I'm saying is, don't be married to your own opinion. Be open-minded to whatever Brandon Beane and these guys decide, because they could even trade up at the draft if they want. They can go out and get Kwity Paye in the top 10 to 15 range. You're gonna have to give up a lot, but I mean, yeah. Couple things. You need 4 or 5 quarterbacks to be drafted round 1. Push that talent down.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. It's hit movies, current shows, live sports, trending bits, and timeless hits. And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free, upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Law & Order SVU streaming now.
The case of the Long Island serial killer is still unsolved. Follow us, Billy Jensen and Alexis Linkletter, as we investigate the untold story of the Long Island serial killer. 11 victims, 10 years, and countless theories.
It was just how many bodies were being found in one area. I was shocked.
And for us, this case is personal. You can follow our investigation in our all-new special, Unraveled, The Long Island Serial Killer, streaming now on Discovery+.